Hatred can make people do many bad things. Joe Biden, for example, is willing to legitimize dictators in Latin America only to win his ego wars against Vladimir Putin. America will pay for such myopic foreign policy disasters for generations to come. Hi and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host, Atul Mishra. Let's begin. The American deep state considers the entirety of the Western Hemisphere to be the United States' exclusive sphere of influence. No foreign powers are allowed to flex their muscles in the Western Hemisphere. This doctrine of Washington has antagonized many Latin American countries, but countries like Venezuela are not without fault either. Consider the case of Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro. Would you call him anything other than an anti-democratic authoritarian who tramples upon the freedoms of Venezuelans? Chances are you wouldn't. But the Biden administration is now keen to recognize the Maduro regime as legitimate. In 2019, Venezuela and the United States cut off diplomatic ties following the Trump administration's series of sanctions against the Maduro regime, which included a blockade of Venezuelan oil. Venezuela is a Russian ally, just like how the United States has been eating into Russia's exclusive sphere of influence among Soviet satellite states. Moscow has been making inroads in Latin America, among which Venezuela remains the best pal to Putin. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro on Tuesday assured Russian President Vladimir Putin of his strong support in a telephone call. The strong support was for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That tells you about the closeness between the two countries. In the call initiated by Caracas, the Venezuelan leader also condemned destabilizing actions of the United States and NATO and spoke out against a Western campaign of lies and disinformation. Guess what Joe Biden did in such circumstances? Several senior Biden administration officials from the White House and State Department traveled to Venezuela on the 5th of March. Their goal? It was simple. And the menu was recognition for Maduro's regime and a possible resumption of Venezuelan oil imports by the United States. Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela was accused by the US and the West of election fraud in 2019, with the White House recognizing opposition leader Juan Guaido as the real president. However, in his blind hatred for Russia and Vladimir Putin, Joe Biden is about to do the unthinkable. He genuinely believes that the US can lure Venezuela into giving up on Russia. That attempt, meanwhile, seems to have failed. According to Reuters, the US and Venezuelan officials held talks on March 5th, but reached no agreement. The State Department, meanwhile, has refused to comment. Expectedly, Joe Biden's South American adventure seems to have failed. According to reports, the sudden enthusiasm of the Biden administration and US State Department to engage in talks and high-level visits to Caracas has been fueled by murmurs in Washington to consider Venezuelan oil as a possible substitute to Russian imports. Venezuela, though, is just too invested in its relationship with Moscow. It will not break ties with Russia, even if the United States agrees to purchase its oil. Yet for Joe Biden to even consider legitimizing the regime of Nicolas Maduro by sending a high-level team to Caracas is a testament to the man's commitment towards democratic ideals and freedom. In his hatred for Vladimir Putin, Biden is willing to go to any extent. If that means legitimizing dictators in America's backyard, well, so be it.